Many thanks for staying tuned. It's still the conversation here on Lagos Television. Today, we'd like to take a look at the Supreme Court judgment yesterday, saying that, of course, given financial autonomy to local governments in Nigeria. Of course, the Supreme Court is the last body, of course, in the judiciary in Nigeria. And after the Supreme Court, if you're still not satisfied, you probably just go to God. And so today, of course, we're taking a look at the true position of things as it stands right now. And joining us in the studio this morning is a senior advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Wahab Shitu. Thank you for being here on the program today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Right. I
Good morning, viewers.
Since that judgment yesterday, a lot of people have taken their own stands on, what that decision really stands, especially for democracy in Nigeria, while some have said it is the best that can happen to governance in Nigeria. A few people think otherwise, but let's start this way. And for you, the court yesterday did say that the local governments have a right to their own autonomy and have a right to disburse their funds, how they see it, how they deem it fit. But if you take us through the 1999 Constitution, what does the Constitution expressly state when it comes to autonomy of local government in Nigeria?
Well, thank you very much. I think, let me preface my remarks by saying that we need to commend the Tinubu administration. Okay. And particularly also the President himself and the Attorney General for instituting this suit, which gave rise to the judgment yesterday. This judgment which came yesterday can be described as local government emancipation judgment. Before now, our local governments are under the apron strings of our governors at various states. What happens is that local government allocations are paid into a joint account of the state and local governments by the Accountant General. And then with the expectation that the governors will then give the local government what is due to them in order to be able to develop their respective local government councils. But what has been happening over the years is that some of the governors, majority of the governors, I dare say in the past and before now, have been handing out stipends to these local government council chairmen, because most of them are elected. They came into office through the patronage of these governors. So if, for instance, they are entitled to 500 million, they might end up being given just 50 million, or even 10 million or 20 million, and they cannot complain. And they will even be required to sign for 500 million, as if that's what was given to them. The implication of that is that development at the grassroots suffers. Our people, most of our people live in these local government councils. All of us belong to one local government or the other by virtue of residence. So development at the grassroots suffers because governors then became overlords. They became too powerful. And sometimes they even dissolve local government councils and appoint caretaker committees, loyal to them to run those affairs. Most of these local government, caretaker chairmen, they don't have grassroots support. So, and they defer to these governors. So what this judgment has done is to reverse the situation. It is not that these provisions are not there in the Constitution before. They are there. But when a constitutional provision is given a force of interpretation by the Supreme Court, and what happened yesterday, it becomes very potent. Right. Now, any local government chairman who hands over his allocation belonging to the council to a governor risks going to jail. And this is very important. If you hand over your local government funds to a governor, you are going to jail.
Well, why would you even
no. Some patronage. This judgment has empowered the people. Our people can now ask questions. We now know how much is coming to you. So if it is you that is misappropriating our resources as a local government chairman, we move against you. You understand me? Because this is our commonwealth.
Right.
These are our common resources. And any governor who collaborates with a chairman to also do that risk going to jail. Eh? So you understand me? Because the Supreme Court has said this fund belongs to the local government council. Even if the accountant general of the federation pays the money to the joint account, he risks going to jail.
Right.
He has to pay it directly to the local government councils.
Okay, what would have
Yes.
happened to those states with caretaker committee chairman, and of course those ones with LCDAs? We know full well that the Constitution only recognizes duly elected local government chairmen. But in Rivers State, we have caretaker committee chairman on those states and some other parts of the country. What do you think will happen to the allocation with this judgment?
By the any local government that does not run a democratically elected council, where people are elected, that is being run by a caretaker committee, is illegal. Such local government will not have access to local government funds. You understand me? Because they are not elected. And that's the implication of the judgment. So what that will do is that every local government, all states in the country will now ensure that a democratically elected local government councils are in place.
Okay.
If you want to have access to
The funds.
the funds, the disbursement of the funds is not automatic. It depends on whether there is a democratically elected local government council in place.
Okay.
So if there is a caretaker committee which is unknown to the Constitution, such local government will not be entitled to funds. So what we will do is that places the agitation at the doorstep of the people. So governors can no longer take people for granted. They can no longer.
They demand for election.
Yeah, they demand for elections. You understand me? People will demand for election. It's your right to demand for election. Governors are no longer emperors. You see, what the Tinubu administration is doing is restructuring the country through constitutional means. And it takes a bold man, a man of vision, to be able to do what he's doing. Even if that's the only thing he has been able to do, he has assisted Nigeria. Because you see, grassroots is where development really thrives.
Right.
You understand me? So people, again, what this will do is that it will encourage quality people to go into local government councils. The race for the local government will be fierce in the sense that quality men and women with grassroots support will now show interest. Because you know that you have resources to work. It's not that a case of being starved of funds. It's not a case of being allocated 500 million and being given just 10 million by one greedy governor.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? No, because you see, the governors have their own allocation by virtue of the federation account. The president, the executive have their own allocation. The National Assembly, they have their own allocation. State House of Assembly, they have their own allocation. Why put your eyes in the allocation of local government? If you then ignore constitutional provisions and begin to dip your hands to local government funds as governor, then you are going to jail. You understand me? Because no matter how big anybody is, the law is bigger.
True.
And that is the essence of constitutional democracy.
How about those with LCDAs?
Now, you are talking of LCDA. If you recall the Supreme Court judgment on the local government development areas in Lagos State, what the Supreme Court said when Tinubu created those local government development areas is that the creation is inchoate. The Supreme Court did not say that those local government councils are illegal. What the Supreme Court says is that the process of creating them is yet to be completed. So what I expect local government councils in Lagos State to do is to now take steps to complete the process. To complete, so that they become local government. We have 774 local governments recognized in the Constitution.
Right.
But that does not mean we cannot create more. If that is the agitation of the people. And what is going to happen is that more local government councils will emerge. So long as they follow the constitutional provision of amending the Constitution to do it, it will be recognized. You understand? So the local government councils in Lagos State, as they are now, will have to work with the elected councils.
Right.
Okay.
They have to now, hide under the elected
them.
councils to access funds,
Okay.
to be able to, and then take steps to ensure that the process of making them fully operational
Are taken.
are taken and completed.
Okay, so let's quickly go again to, before what the judgment said yesterday. Again, Ajibala cited the case of a few states that are currently being run, that's the local council area, being run by caretaker committees. Would we say that because that judgment came yesterday, does it take effect? Is it also supreme on those local government areas that are currently being run?
Let
by
me say
caretaker
it. Once
committees?
the Supreme Court pronounced, it takes immediate effect.
Okay.
So local councils that are being run by local caretaker committees are
That
illegal.
illegal. So
Illegal.
it beholds on the states to
Illegal.
conduct election.
Illegal. Conduct elections as much as possible. Put in place democratically elected councils so that you can access funds. Otherwise, the Supreme Court has empowered the Accountant General to withhold such funds.
Will they get a backlog if for example, let's take Rivers for as a case study. If it takes them about 6 months or they're about to conduct an election, will they be able to access that money, the ones they've lost, once a constitutionally elected local government council chairman comes in place?
Well, you see, the beauty of this judgment is that funds previously appropriated by local government caretaker committees are illegal. We can take steps to recover those funds.
Okay.
You see? And then, again, let me also use this opportunity to emphasize a lingering crisis that has been on before. There's this Paris Refund. Funds due to local governments are detained by some governors, thereby making these local government councils prosperous in terms of development. With this judgment now, the governors are under a duty, under an obligation to return those funds immediately, or they risk going to jail.
And so if they don't, can the federal government sue them?
Of course, not only sue them, they can take even criminal proceedings against them to recover those funds. You understand me? When the Supreme Court has pronounced, the Supreme Court is the commander. The Supreme Court is the highest court. If you agree with what the Supreme Court has done, appeal to God.
Take your case
Okay.
to God.
What then do you think, with this judgment rather, what then do you think will be the relationship between the governors and local government chairmen? And before that judgment of yesterday, the Nigerian Governors Forum claimed that the AGF does not have the local standard to institute the suit for local governments.
Well, that is no longer the law. When an action is filed against any party, the other party too has a right to defend. And the court will now examine the defense, whether it is meritorious or frivolous. The Supreme Court has examined the defense of all the states, and it has come to a conclusion that defense is not meritorious. That the Attorney General of the Federation has local standard. We are talking of the Constitution, and that the suit was properly constituted, was properly instituted, and that defense collapses. Now, the other question you asked.
Relationship now.
Now, the relationship between the state governors and chairman of local governments ought to be harmonious. Ought to be harmonious, ought to be complementary. A greedy governor, a governor that is not greedy does not have any problem. A governor that is very, very concerned about even development across the states will be happy with what is going on. If there is development in all the 774 local government councils in Nigeria, it is a credit to the governor. It is a credit to local government council chairman. It is a credit to the president. It is a credit to the people. Because people now have access. Let me make the point. Everybody has access. We are entitled as Nigerians, as citizens, to healthy living standards. All these things that we're asking for, good roads, good housing, employment, food security, and all that, They are our rights. That's what we are entitled to as human beings. It's not, so when government provides those things for us, they are fulfilling the will of God and the will of the Constitution. So you cannot say you are not happy because you have your own funds, for God's sake.
So spend your own fund.
Spend your own funds. And governors all over the country, they have access to multiple sources of income. One,
security votes.
They get allocation from the federation account, just like the local government councils. They have access to security votes. They do internally generated, revenue. And then some also get derivation funds, arising from the proceeds from oil.
Producing
and and sometimes they give them access to intervention funds. You understand me? So they have multiple sources depending on the size and the potential of your state. You understand me? And if your state does not have potential, then create potential for your state.
Look inward.
Look inward. So don't begin to now look into resources meant for the local government. Now what is happening now is that the local government are being rendered prostrate. Are you saying people in the rural areas are not entitled to good things of life? I know it's to provide it for them. It is local government councils. You understand me? Now if they don't have funds, how will they provide? Again, local government chairmen who are corrupt are also in danger. If you begin to, because these funds is now under your care, you begin to build mansions all over the place using resources of the people, begin to buy expensive cars. People are entitled to move against those local government chairmen. If possible, lynch them. Yes.
Why is that shit?
You come to serve the people.
I don't think we should preach violence.
No, I'm not saying so. I'm not saying so. Yes. Let me. People are suffering, man. What are you talking about?
Hold them.
What are you talking about?
So we
when you want to say I want to serve, it's a sacrifice. When people entrust governance in your care, it's a huge privilege. Then why should you betray the people? You know a lot of people who have died because of hunger?
Right.
A lot of people who have died because of poverty?
Let's quickly
A lot of people who cannot even afford to send their children to school. Nigerians are suffering, for God's sake.
Right.
So what Tinubu is doing now
is
working for the people. He's working for the people. He's working for
the people.
And that's what democracy is.
And that's what democracy is.
Let's look at one of the people who are not happy with this judgment, talking about the former governor of Delta State, James Ibori, and I'm going to quote something that he said. He said the Supreme Court has dealt a severe setback on the principle of federalism as defined by Section 162(3) of the 1999 Constitution as amended. The section expressly provides that any amount standing to the credit of the Federation account shall be distributed among the federal and state government and the local government councils in each state on such terms and in such manner as may be prescribed by the National Assembly. Two questions I'd like to bring out from here. The first one, is it true that rather than strengthen democracy, can this judgment be seen as a setback for principles of federalism like James Ibori has pointed out? And by this judgment, what happens to the jack?
Former Governor James Ibori is wrong, very, very wrong, in the way he has interpreted that constitution. When you talk of federalism that we practice, the federalism we have been practicing all along is federalism in the reverse gear. We are not practicing true federalism. When we practice true federalism, it means devolution of powers to the federation units. Our constitution recognizes 3 tiers of government. Federal, states, and local government. And then by that implication, it means that each of these 3 tiers must be autonomous. Nobody has a right. I mean, the federal government does not have a right to come and dictate to Sanwo-Olu about how to run his affairs. You understand what I'm saying? Because he's the executive governor of Lagos State, vested with executive powers. In the same way, Sanwo-Olu or any other governor should not come and be dictating to any local government chairman on how to run the affairs of the local government council or to spend their money. You understand me? The local government council chairman or local government councils are entitled to go to heaven the way they want. You understand me? So they are only answerable to the people.
Okay.
People who feel that their resources are being wasted can vote them out. And those of them who have stolen their money can be prosecuted.
Right.
Now EFCC is likely to be more active.
And
ICPC is likely to be more active. If you are being changed by any local government chairman and you are not doing anything, it's your problem. You are supposed, a local government chairman or even elected officials across the board are supposed to be servants of the people now. Why will you want to see your local government chairman and he will say you cannot see him? You have to see him now. You should have access to see your local government chairman. You should have access to see your governor. Yeah, provided you follow the proper protocol, you should be able to see your president. They are your servants.
So Ibori is wrong.
Oh, completely wrong. And then when the Supreme Court, which is the highest court of the land, has made a pronouncement, that pronouncement is, as it is, overriding over the Constitution as it is there. You understand me? Now even state local government chairman, state House of Assembly, can no longer make laws now to interfere with local government funds.
Right, because the final judgment has been given.
Local government, Lagos State House of Assembly, or even Oyo State House of Assembly, or any other, or Gongola, they cannot make any law that will interfere with local government.
Because sometimes they summon chairman, local government chairman to the assembly.
Yeah, no, they can. No. You cannot begin to oversight is quite different.
But
you know, if you oversight, but on funds, how to.
It is not their business.
You know, you have a accountant general of state. Even local governments have a accountant general of local government. Allow them do their work. You understand me? Local governments in Nigeria now are fully autonomous.
So they
Again,
decide.
but we need more. We need to also begin to demand that elections should be conducted.
I was going there.
Yeah.
Because some of these governors might use the State Independent Electoral Commission to get at the chairman.
Yes. To get at the chairman, you see, let me tell you, the local government councils have been given ammunitions. Whether they now want to use the ammunition is up to them. You know, you cannot rule out lakeys. Eh? People will say, oh, governor, we have taken a location. I'm still loyal. This is the money. How much do I take from this? Such a person is not fit to be your ruler, your leader.
Okay, while we are commending the judgment of the Supreme Court yesterday,
yes.
When you look at the quality of people that we have as councillors at the local government level, are they exposed enough to challenge some of the actions of this local government chairman because of the powers that they are going to enjoy now?
Well, I don't want to sit here and condemn any human being on whether they are exposed or not exposed. But if people deserve the government they have, all you and me and everybody who's interested in the theory of governance must show interest and engage the process. You understand me? If you do not show interest, then you are entitled to be governed by charlatans. You understand me? You don't want to come out. You have resources, brain, intelligence, exposure, and you don't want to come out to come and serve your people because you are afraid. So, and then those who can come out will come out. That is again, we need to re-examine the nature of our democracy. You see, the kind of democracy we practice in Nigeria has to be re-examined. One, let me tell you, what do we mean by democracy? The will of the people, as expressed by the people through the ballot box. It's a system of government that does not envisage violence. So this kill and go democracy that we practice, kill and go. People are, acquiring, talks, and all that. It's anti-democracy. And then this idea of cash and carry. You vote for somebody on the basis. They are actually enslaving you. When during the election they give you stipends, come and vote for us. And at the end of the election, you don't even have access to some of them again. You understand me? Our people must use the ballot box as the power they have, their vote, to be able to bring in quality people into governance. Nigeria is endowed in terms of resources, in terms of human resources, everything, we are endowed. And so we are not entitled to be governed by 3rd, 4th, 5th, 11th. We are entitled to be governed by our first 11, our very best. people. And that is why you see our people are dominating economies all over the world. But here, we are allowing ourselves to be ruled by charlatans. No, not all of them. There's quality people who are also coming out. Now we have a president that is delivering. And we can see this boldness, this courage.
Right.
This is courage. You understand me? You must salute President Tinubu. Governors who are not happy with him are selfish governors. Governors who love Nigeria, who love the people, won't be happy with Tinubu. They must donate to him second time. I'm not campaigning. But that is what I think.
Okay, very actually too. I mean, will this judgment put any kind of pressure on the local government chairmen themselves? Those, I mean, for people who've been complacent for many years, who've not had access to their funds, and now will be getting their funds directly. What are the expectations?
Well, it will put pressure on local government chairmen who are lazy, who are greedy, who are corrupt. But it will arm local government chairmen who are thirsty for development, who want to engrave their names in letters of gold. You notice that what has been happening in Lagos in the last 20-something years is unprecedented in the history of Nigeria, particularly after the tenure of Tinubu. You saw successive governors trying to make a lot of impact. Look at what Fashola did in Lagos State, salutary. Look at what Ambode did, salutary. Look at what Sanwo-Olu is doing now. You can see governance. You can see your money working. You understand me? I'm not saying they are perfect, but you can see that, and that is what visionary leadership ought to be. You can see other states trying to copy the Lagos model. But we can, if with this local government, judgment, it will bring more development, not only to Lagos State, but across the entire federation. Because quality men now will now throw their hearts into the ring. Quality men and women will throw their hearts into the ring. And some people might even resign their jobs to come and go and contest for their election. Because you see, they want to develop. Nigerians are yearning for development. And we have people who could deliver. There are a lot of Fasholas, a lot of Ambodis, a lot of Sanwo-Olus, a lot of Tinubus all over the place who are willing to come out to develop their respective constituency areas. This judgment is a major plus for our democracy. It's a plus for grassroots development. And it is also a plus for transparency and accountability in governance.
Right.
If we give funds to local government, we all now know, we can follow how much is allocated directly by the Accountant General of the Federation to a particular local government council. You can follow it.
Right.
And you can also ask them to account. How did you spend it?
Okay.
If they don't spend it well, they go to jail. That's all. They go to jail.
Okay, this judgment again, won't it push the quest for the creation of more local governments in the country?
Well, what is wrong in creating more local government?
How would they survive?
What I'm saying is that so long as they follow constitutional guidelines and they are properly created and the process is completed, not inchoate, then it means that it will then be put into the constitution. I mean, as local government, and then the Accountant General will now be obliged to also give them funds. You understand what I'm saying? But what we are saying is that creation of local governments must be based on the theory of even viability. Whether those councils are viable and whether they have resources to be able to manage their affairs. Those are considerations. But there's no fear. What the Supreme Court justices who delivered this judgment, what they have done, is to engrave their names in letters of gold. It takes a lot of boldness. I salute the Supreme Court justices for this judgment. I salute President Lateef Fagbemi, the Attorney General, who had the courage to go to. But he couldn't have initiated that suit without the support
of Mr. President
and the backing of the President. So the real credit should go to President Tinubu for his courage. And Nigerians, I congratulate Nigerians.
Right.
Now we can now take our destinies in our own hands.
Okay, I mean, well said about these judgments. But before we allow you go, you've spoken glowingly about Lagos, and so would like to tap into your own Lagos experience briefly before we let you go this morning. Where were you? Were you born in Lagos?
I was not born in Lagos. As a matter of fact, I'm from Ofa in Kwara
In
State.
Kwara State.
But I've been in Lagos. I schooled in Lagos.
Right, you went to
University of
the University
Lagos.
of
I left
Lagos.
Lagos in 1986. University of Lagos. And I've been practicing in Lagos now since 1990. And the Lagos experience for me is unprecedented.
Before we go into your Lagos
Because we
experience,
know, yes,
where was the first local government? Which local government did you arrive in when you came to Lagos?
when I came to Lagos, I was in Ilupeju.
Okay, so
That's
that's
posh.
Then I've moved from there to Ojodu.
okay.
Ojodu. And then from there, now I'm in Alimasho.
Oh.
But I'm not basing my assessment on.
No,
those
you will
areas.
talk about the three local, because you've traversed three local governments.
No, I'm seeing development every day in Lagos. Yes. And I must give kudos to Governor Sanwo-Olu and the assemblymen who are also putting him on his
Toes.
on his toes. And the people of Lagos State who are yearning daily for development.
Okay.
You see, what the Lagos experience has done is to serve as a model to a lot of states all over the federation. I tell you, President Tinubu was elected because of his performance in Lagos. That was why he was elected. Any other narrative is sentimental nonsense. He has done it before in Lagos, and people knew that. And look, and then the succession, model in Lagos State, which has also been producing, a succession of good leaders. It's also something very salutary. You understand me? So I think, but that does not mean that Lagos is entitled to go to sleep. No. Lagos must continue to tinker with new theories, models of development.
Right.
Some of us go to our various states and tell them that, look, go and see what is going on in Lagos.
Okay, coming all the way from Ofa then in 1986, am I right?
No, you finished from
Okay, you finished from Unilag in 1986.
It is.
Landing in Lagos, what was the reality that dawned on you that made a difference between Ofa and Lagos?
Well, if you must know, Ofa, where I come from, is also a model in terms of community development in Africa.
Dog, are you comparing to Lagos?
No, I'm just telling you that.
Just so that we know.
I'm just telling you, Ofa. Go and investigate this, what I've told you. Ofa community. That's the first community grammar school in the whole, Ofa Grammar School. The first community grammar school in the entire North Central.
Okay.
You understand me? And then that is the Begore attended, Jim Bewa attended.
Okay.
So all these prominent people attended. So Ofa people are very industrious.
I know.
And then we develop ourselves.
Okay.
We develop ourselves. Every of our mind is always thinking of home. What have you done? To show that you are a farmer, you must have, contributed.
You did.
But I haven't said that. I haven't said that.
That goes to my question.
I haven't said that. We must salute what is going on in Lagos State. I think it is good. It is not every time that we condemn our leaders. When they do things that are good, let us, let us also comment them. There are things that are happening overseas. You see them in Lagos. That you see even train stations, all these things coming up, bridges, all over the places and all that. But again, what I would say, in spite of all this, in terms of infrastructural development in Lagos State, Lagos State has done well. But we must recognize the fact that our people are still suffering in terms of hunger.
Right.
Food, shelter must be taken very seriously by our various governments. Even the federal government. I want to use this opportunity to tell President Tinubu directly that Nigerians are suffering.
Okay.
You can do more. Subsidize food, not petrol, so that people can have access to food. People can have access to shelter. We will continue to support you so long as you work for the people. You have shown by this Supreme Court judgment that you are working for the people. Never, never abandon the people.
Okay. Right. Before we let you go finally this morning, Barrister Shitu, your success story will not be complete without the mention of Lagos, whether we like it or not. So if you briefly, how has Lagos contributed to the man that you are today?
In an unprecedented way. Because Lagos State is where you need to belong to, or to be, in order to be able to showcase your talent and your potential.
Okay.
There's nothing that does not sell in Lagos. You know, you have opportunities in terms of career development, in terms of access to a cross-section. The beauty of Lagos is that every Nigerian has a sense of belonging here.
Right.
You are not discriminated on account of your background here. I mean, what works for you here is your talent, your resources, your hard work. Well, everything, even if you are selling pure water, you can be a millionaire in Lagos.
Right.
We're selling pure water, sachet water. No, so everything works. It's a prosperity, a prosperous city.
Right.
And then lucky to be blessed with prosperous leaders who have a lot of vision. And I think we must salute all those who have governed Lagos State. Those since inception, they have done so well, so well, so well.
All right, of course, we'd have to let Barrister Wahab to take his leave on the program today. We sincerely thank you for finding time to be here on the conversation.
It's my pleasure.
We'll take a quick break. When the program returns, it will be the turn of the ladies to take us through their conversation today.
The views expressed on this program do not represent that of the producer, management of Lagos Television, or the Lagos State Government. They remain the perspectives of those expressing them. Thank you for staying with Lagos Television.